Mara, there's a lot of hype around this Gophers team. You're taking on this weekend. How different do they look to you maybe from a year ago? Is that hype they've received so far this year?
Oh yeah, I mean, they get Zumwinkle and Murphy back, and they've got some nice freshmen and good depth at all positions. So yeah, they're worth the hype.
Are you kind of, like I asked Gabby, is your team maybe walking into a hornet's nest? I know a lot of college hockey might consider you the underdogs, but I kind of get the feeling that maybe the Gophers are the team that's feeling like they're the ones that need to get some revenge, and I don't know if you can get revenge in the regular season. That question I asked before, but
Yeah.
Are you preparing to kind of walk into a hornet's nest, at least on Friday, that they're going to come out pretty strong at you?
I think regardless of what happened last spring, you know, you're going into a visitors rink and a really good team, two good teams. So it's going to be a battle, a hornet's nest. Sure, if you want to call it that. I feel that way anytime we go to Ritter. You know, they're going to bring their best, we're going to bring ours, and it's going to be a great weekend of games.
Where has this Gophers team, you feel, become more challenging besides just adding some solid players? Are they still pretty?
Besides just adding some solid players, that's it.
Players, but are they still playing the
Same
style?
system. Yep.
Same system, same
Yep.
style, just with better execution.
2 Olympians, adds depth up front for sure.
But you guys are also bringing. an
Right.
Olympian
I'm
back.
glad you asked about us. Yeah.
You're bringing an Olympian. Well, how different are these two teams? You said at Ohio State you didn't go back and look at the national championship game for scouting. You're not going back and looking at that game at Ritter, the regional final, when you're scouting for this weekend, are you?
We might be. We might be. Yeah. I mean, the video that we have is from Ohio State. So through the netting and everything, it's a tougher look, but we look at a bunch of film, and that there are things that you can take from everything. So with this one at Ritter, the film's at Ritter, it just makes a little more sense. So we'll pull from everything. And I think, you know, your first question was how different are the two teams? I think you're always going to have a style of play for the Gophers, and you're always going to have a style of play for the Bulldogs, and the pieces will change. And there will be years that some are better than others, but in general, you're going to get, you know, the same brand of hockey. And then when they both collide, I think that's what you get. That's when you get that hornet's nest that you talked about.
Is it helpful having a similar opponent? You guys already played the Buckeyes, and they just played the Buckeyes. So you kind of, does that help at all?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good question. And yes, it does. It's helpful to see, you know, the Gophers having to defend. Some games they have the puck all the time. So you want to see how they defend, how they play on the puck, and, you know, highly competitive games. So yes, it is very helpful.
You had a couple of highly competitive games yourself this last week, in which you think that your group on Friday to Saturday against Wisconsin.
Yeah, similar to what Gabby said, you know, I think we got better and better as Friday night went on, and Saturday, I feel like we carried the majority of the play. Second period, couple mistakes, pucks in the back of our net, but we certainly outshot them that period. We had more possession than them all weekend long, actually, in both games. So I think we're doing a lot of things right. And like the kids have been saying, it's just, you know, we're focused on the process of just getting better and better. So lots to learn, lots to like.
How much of a step forward is that for your group, that to have that type of possession time that you had? Because against Wisconsin, I mean, you had a lot of the puck in that second period Saturday.
Yeah, I think it tells, you know, our players what we believe as coaches, what we believe about this team. And I think that the team believes. I said that after Ohio State. What did we walk away with? We walked away with a lot of belief that we can beat good teams. We're right there with the best teams, and we deserve to be in that conversation. So I think, you know, belief and confidence is really important in this sport. And there's no more important time to have it than when you're playing another number one ranked team in the country.
It's always important to get the first goal and get a nice start on that, but I almost feel like your team, when you play these elite teams, it's almost better if you give up the first goal and you come back harder.
Yeah.
Hockey when you give up.
Chasing it a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of funny. I would personally like to have the first goal if we can get it. But I think there is something psychologically to any team that is down, but you're able to come back. You know, if you get down to a team that you're really separated from in terms of talent and ability. It feels like a really big hole to get out of, but when it's two competitive games, you know, sometimes psychologically it makes you hungrier to get it back. And I think Friday night we saw a little bit of complacency from Wisconsin holding on to that 1-goal lead, and that's where we started storming back. So I think, yeah, that can be true, but I'd always like the first one.
How much has that line with Kylie Handley and Annika, how much has that driven your offensive zone possession? It felt like when they were on the ice, the puck was in Wisconsin's end almost every time.
Yeah, great point. They started together at Ohio State, and they really established our forecheck. Those guys are big, strong players. They're in your face. They are not going to give up the puck unless you steal it from them. And if you do, they're coming to hunt it back. They just have that tenacity and the style that they play. And they also have the goal scoring ability. So when they get those turnovers, you know, I'm pretty confident that one of them can put the puck in the back of the net.
You've got players in Claire and Annika that are really good on the wall. How much of a compliment is Kylie with that skating ability she has?
Yeah, she's slick out there, and she'll get into the soft areas of the ice offensively. So if they're doing the grunt work in the walls, you know, she does a great job finding that soft ice and getting a quick shot off, or finding our weak side D on the back door. So it'll, I hope, continue to get better for those guys, because they're playing great and they're a lot of fun to watch.
During the stretch, has your team surprised you in any ways? You know, it's a tough slate to playing on teams in 6 consecutive games here. Did it surprise you at all?
I'm excited about our fitness and our strength this year. From Friday to Saturdays in the past, we have looked a little bit different. And this year I've seen us get better from Friday to Saturdays. And so I think we're really fit. I think the hard work that they've been putting in for the past several months is showing up on the ice. I think strength wise, we're right there with teams that in the past have been stronger than us. So I'm really encouraged by what we've been doing off the ice as well.
Similar to what you asked, do you feel like that helps your team focus even more, having these back top five matchups?
Yeah, you can't fall asleep for a shift, a period. You have to be on, you have to be ready, and you have to, you know, like Clara used the word enthusiasm. I love that. You have to have enthusiasm for what you're doing every single day during these weeks, because you know, you want to continue to get better, and any lapses in that can really hurt you. So I like that mentality of just being enthusiastic about getting better every day and focusing on the process less than the results. And hopefully we get to a place where we like the results too. But, you know, during this stretch, I'm fairly happy with where we're at, and we have some great opportunities this weekend to go grab a couple wins.
Even speaking of enthusiasm, I think back to Friday's last 3 minutes before you guys forced overtime, and I just looked next to me, everybody's smiling.
Yeah.
Everyone is still full of enthusiasm, excitement, so expectant that they're gonna go to overtime and take it away, and they did. What is that conversation and the message that you guys are having, even with 3 minutes left in the final frame?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the situation. Did we tie it up in that one?
Yeah.
Tied it up. So obviously we're feeling good. We already liked the way we were playing. So that's the funny part of this group, is regardless of what the scoreboard says, shot clock says, they know when they're playing well. And that's encouraging for them. So that belief, they have it regardless of what's going on. And then when you get rewarded with putting the puck in the back of the net, it was almost like, yeah, they knew they were going to get it done in OT. And that's fun. That's fun. There wasn't a whole lot of stress. The pressure is seemingly okay for them. Most of them have been in really big games. And I think in those moments, you start to see some of that leadership.
You mentioned this team's experience in big games. Have you sensed this year a different mentality as players are going into, you know, whether it's going to Ohio State, hosting Wisconsin, or even this week going into a series with the Gophers, which doesn't matter what happened the year before. This is usually a pretty big series for a lot of your players being Minnesota.
Yeah, I think, you know, that consistent approach to practice is really important, and that enthusiasm. And Monday is a good example. It was Halloween, so we're all dressed up out at practice. And, you know, sometimes those can get silly, and a little, people can be distracted when coach is in a costume trying to draw up drills, but they were awesome. They were so impressive. Our group just, we've done it over the years, so maybe they're used to it, but we got tons of work done. We got better. They were focused. We had fun. And that's what we're trying to create here is I want practice to be fun. I want it to be hard. I want us to get better. And smiles at the end of the day are always good.
Can you talk about the gauntlet of a schedule you guys are gonna have? You went to Ohio State and then you played this weekend and now you're going to Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's not how you look at it.
Yeah, it actually is. We were just talking about this and how nice it is just to have back to back to back, like huge matchups. And sometimes it's easy to like get kind of complacent and like, I don't know, stoop to the level of like another team. But for this, like we're just on the same level 3 weeks in a row, which is really nice to be able to just carry it into the next week.
What do you feel like you're learning about your guys' character and where it came from and
Yeah, I think we're just learning like how much enthusiasm we have to be here. And like, even though we have been doing the same thing for 3 weeks, like we'll show up to the rink with the same amount of energy and enthusiasm every day. And yeah, we're just super excited to play again this week. So it's good to see.
I feel like it's definitely setting the tone for your schedule. Just tonight, even your season.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah. Well, it's really exciting seeing just like how good of a start we have and how much we're working with. Like if we're starting from here, like where we're going to be at the end of the season is super exciting and it's hopeful. So that's good.
And be tough to not get caught up in the results sometimes and not look at like the big picture of how this team is building towards, the postseason, something you guys have done really well the last 2 years, kind of building towards peaking right at the end of the year and playing your best in the postseason.
Yeah, I think so. Your question was what?
Is it tough not to get hung up on the result? This is a tough stretch
Yeah,
when you're playing these top teams. You'd obviously love to sweep every series. That could be tough to do.
Yeah.
It'd be tough to get caught up in just the result, focusing on the results instead of how you're growing as a team at this time of year.
yeah. I feel like from the outside it might look like that, but our team has done a really good job at just kind of being happy with the way we played, not being satisfied. But I think we're really happy with the process and like what we've shown on the ice. And obviously the result is going to come and we want it to come, but we're not getting too caught up with the result right now.
What about your play on the ice do you like the most right now?
I think I like my consistency and how hard I work.
What do you like most about playing the goal versus it's been a tight rivalry?
Yeah.
Especially beating them in that biggest game of the year.
Yeah.
But what do you like most about these series, this rivalry?
I like how close it is. I like that our fans get to be there to support us, how a lot of the times it's like an evenly divided rank. And just the history that we have with them is really fun.
Is there something about their style of play that stands out to you that either contrasts well with what UMD likes to do or could be a challenge?
Not that I can think of, no. Just another opponent that we like to play.
Do you notice Gabby's play kind of takes a step up though? She plays the go. That
Oh.
Gabby's play takes a step up. She plays the numbers say that she takes it to
Really?
another level.
I haven't noticed that. I think she's spectacular every game, so.
Like, but to return to Ritter, especially after.
Yeah.
last year?
The last time we were there was honestly like my favorite hockey memory of all time. So just the memories in that building are really good.
Big takeaways from like last year's games where the Bulldogs had some success and good out of again this time around.
Yeah, I think just like realizing that we can set the tone and that that's what we're going to do and should do. Not being too caught up with the rankings or any of the noise on the outside and just taking it upon ourselves to play Bulldog hockey.
Yeah, I mean, Kelly's got the numbers on you on the go. And the numbers say you've taken your game to another level when you've taken out the Gophers in your career. Is there something different about these games for you?
I would say I get just as excited to play anybody, but I definitely feel a little bit more driven when we play at Ritter, just because my whole entire family gets to come. People I don't get to see a part of my family a whole lot throughout the year and throughout the season. So it's super excited. My dad has a huge family, so all of his siblings come and my cousins, and I feel like I have my own little section there of Hughes members. So I think just having them come and watch me and support me is super important to me. So having them there definitely lights a little fire under me and show them what I'm made of.
Are you guys kind of expecting to walk into Hornets Nest, at least on Friday after the last meeting? You guys going into Ritter there and beating them in the regional, you pop in a jersey?
Yeah, I think every time we play them and we go down there, we know what we've done there and they know what we've done there. So I think it's going to be a really, really great competition and a great matchup this weekend. So I think they're looking for a little redemption and revenge. And I think we're looking just to keep proving ourselves to everyone and to ourselves.
Do you guys still feel like, I think most of college hockey looks at UMD taking on the Gophers, that UMD is the underdog. But you're the team that's been in the Frozen Four the last 2 years. It's not the Gophers. Do you guys still feel like the underdog going in there? Is there an underdog in this rivalry, this series?
I don't think so. I think honestly in our league and our WCHA matchups, there's always going to be labels of underdogs, upper dogs, whatever it may be. I think any team can win on any given day. So we don't identify ourselves as underdog, but we love hearing that from other people. I think it fuels our fire. We like to prove ourselves. And so hearing that from the outside noise definitely motivates us to keep proving ourselves. We don't view ourselves as that, like Claire said, set the pace. That's kind of what we're going for. So we'll let it motivate us and we'll show what we got this weekend.
What do you like best, these last 4 games against the Badgers and Buckeyes? What do you like most about how this team has played and done? Kind of maybe ignoring the wins and losses and points and results.
Right. I think just learning so much about ourselves, and we continue to prove to ourselves who we are and what we have to bring to the table and our depth. I think we keep proving that to ourselves throughout every single game, and we get better every single period. I think from playing Ohio and Wisco every single period, first, second, third, we carry that on to the next series and the next game. So being able to do that and recognize where we want to get better and being coachable is definitely one of our strong suits. So just knowing that about ourselves and continuing to do that is going to be super important.
Friday to Saturday against Wisconsin, what you like about being what your team's able to do a little different?
Yeah, I think we came out in Saturday even better than we did on Friday. And I think that's tough for a lot of teams to do, back-to-back games like that against a top ranked team. And I think we came out in shape and ready to go. And I think that's definitely what got us to where we wanted to be, and not the result we wanted, obviously, but we got to learn to finish out games, and we learned that, but definitely liked how we came out just as strong, if not better, and took away from video what we wanted to and applied that to the next game. And that's definitely where we have our strength is being coachable. And we showed that on Saturday.